This is a clip from one of our most recent episodes. For full episodes and more, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and YourVibesPodcast.com. This episode is brought to you by Sassy Pop Boutique. Sassy Pop is a women's clothing and accessory boutique located inside Mulberry Mill in Dixon, Tennessee. Sassy Pop's fashion professionals help their clients find the right style and fit for all body types and sizes. Whether you are an extra small or a 3XL, Sassy Pop Boutique will have you looking your best for all 4 seasons. Check them out on Facebook at Sassy Pop Boutique and on Instagram at Sassy Pop Boutique Dixon. Or browse their website for 24-hour shopping and shipping anywhere in the United States at sassypopboutique.com. Skateboarding is life to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not, if you're into it, you're into it.
No, and it's just something that, I played some sports when I was like younger, a little bit here and there, but it got to where skateboarding was just kind of, it was my niche, you know. I think it's got more to do with, it's one of those things where it's an inner battle. You know what I mean? You're not battling against, it's not physics. It's not, this dude's way bigger than me. He's going to push me around in the field. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it literally, I was telling Steve earlier at lunch, I was like, it's simple things like, my son would say, Dad, when can I not wear a helmet? I said, when you learn how to fall, not when you learn how to skate, you know? And I tell parents all the time, I'm like, it's going to teach your kid to fall down in front of a bunch of people and probably get embarrassed. But it's also going to teach them to get back up and keep going. I don't know if there's a better life lesson
Absolutely.
at all. And everyone's talking about how underwhelming like the skateboarding was in the Olympics, the street part especially. But the tricks they were trying was just insanely hard. But we watch skate videos and you see these guys just like they're landing all these. They don't see the 75 tries it took them to land the trick.
Yep.
You know, and then how many times they fell down and the persistence of it. You know, it just you keep going. That's just anything in life. If you don't make it, you're gonna keep going until you make it. Right?
If you really want to do it, you know.
Yep.
I mean, that's what keeps driving people. It's like this too. Like my first 5, 6, 7, 10 episodes sucked. Like I didn't really know how to run an interview. I didn't know how to do the audio correctly. My equipment was okay for a beginner. But there were so many, and they're still out there floating around. But I take it as kind of a tribute of my journey almost.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like I didn't have sponsors like I do now. It's but I wanted an outlet. I needed a creative outlet, and I need people like you and everybody else I've had on here just have really cool stories that you know, like you said, like you've got a shitload of stuff going on, and you're obviously pretty social and care a lot about the kids, which is huge. But if you're not into skating, you know, a lot of times people don't just run across Jimmy. You know?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It turns into. Again, Teresa from Sweet Teas, when she saw the skate session down there at White Bluff that day we had the bash, she was like, this is amazing. There's no one's talking negative to anybody. Everyone's like supporting each other and like they're pushing each other to do this next biggest thing, and they're teaching each other. And I'm like, it's kind of like, I guess what, Bruce Lee, you know, if people are afraid of what they don't know, but do you make that a part of them, and you know, they see the beauty in it when in the end, you know, and
well, nobody ever does anything alone either. Like you can't ever accomplish greatness or get to a certain level just by yourself. There's always somebody there that, you know, people have to be picked up. We're communal creatures, you know.
Yeah.
We're not meant to be isolated at all.
Oh, it's the what was that movie? The Great Dictator, man. Look, I mean, that's if people haven't heard that speech by Charlie Chaplin, they should probably listen to it once a day. Okay. I mean, the man was in movies and didn't in silent movies and didn't speak a word. And the one movie he speaks in, it's the greatest speech ever wrote. Wow. Ever. I don't know if you've never heard it.
I've never heard it. I'll have to write it down.
It's absolutely astonishing. He's just everything he says. Yeah, me and Dave Wright were talking about it one time, and it was just like, man, it's definitely, it hits home with what's going on right now a lot too. You know what I mean? You know, we're talking about you're not machines, you're men. You know what I mean? Like it's great. It makes my day better when I hear it, you know, so.
Just kind of snaps you back into, you know, thinking in a different mindset of too many people just wake up and are just drones to the day.
Yeah, I struggle with that. I've had arguments with teachers over my youngest son and stuff. I'm just like, I understand you want cookie cutters, but that's not him. You know what I mean? He's not, and I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? I would rather argue with my kids all day long and them have their own opinion than just to fall in line.
Sure.
It's just that means that they're going to be strong individuals. They're going to have opinions. They're going to speak their opinions. I would rather them be outspoken than just a yes, ma'am, and a yes, sir. It's hard in school. School's not a democracy.
No.
I struggled in school. Dad would always say, "Make your own waves, son."
Sure.
I struggled with it. But we had brains.
Yeah.
We had our own opinions. We were creative. We did our own thing. You know what I mean? And in the end, that was most like my oldest son's the same way. A lot of his friends very much so. He's the same age as them, but when he tells them, when he's like, "Hey guys, stop that," they're like, "Okay, man, sorry." Like they listen to him as well. So
I think you're absolutely right on this whole school issue. It's getting to a point to where they're trying to put, like you said, they're trying to put everybody in a box. And and what blows my mind is that the funding for the arts is so underfunded. I mean,
what happened? I mean, when I was growing up, arts and music was prevalent.
Yeah.
I know I did all my school up north, but still, it was very prevalent. And the speech I have with people is like, well, what do art and music influence? Creative and independent thinking. And they don't want that. You know what I mean? They don't want outside of the boxers. You know what I mean? But like, all the great
threat. Free thinkers are a threat.
Absolutely.
To,
and the country was founded on people that had ideas and brilliant ideas. You know what I mean? And that's how new things happen. That's how podcasts happen. That's how, hey, I have an idea.
Skateboards in the middle of a downtown setting happen.
Yep. I have an idea. Let's run with it and see where it goes. You know what I mean? Instead of, no, that's not going to work. You go get a factory job.
What was it? It was the rational men adjust to the world around them, and the irrational men make the world adjust to them. That's why all progression relies on irrational men, not necessarily men, women as well too. But you can't. I mean, nothing new has ever come out of, well, that's the way we've always done it.
Yeah, no, I mean, not at all. They would never have invented a one wheel. It would never have happened. You know what I mean? Even skateboarding, the technology of it, like it's started with clay wheels and then metal wheels.
Okay. And
then all of a sudden here's polyurethane. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people have watched Lords of Dogtown when he runs in with a bag and drops them off and says, we can make hard carves with these like we do on our surfboards. We can even grip walls because they were soft enough to actually get to hold on to it. That's why like if you're in a skate park, you're like concrete and stuff. If you have a softer wheel, it's easier to not slide out on the walls. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Harder wheels are more for street skating where you can slide around and do what you need to do. So it's just kind of, means they go back to me and Steve again. We were talking about evolution earlier. You know what I mean? Like, you got to evolve.
You got to change.
You can't just stay in one spot. I mean,
and it hurts to change sometimes, and people don't like pain. To grow is to change. I mean, you don't see a sapling stay a sapling or a flower stay a bud. Like nature within itself is continuously evolving.
Well, and what stops a lot of people from changing, I've discovered, is it's fear.
100%. It's false evidence appearing real.
Yep. It's afraid to take the next step. Like I told my brother at one point, I was like, he was unhappy with the situation he was in. I won't get into that, but he was just like, I was like, dude, take a step. It don't matter if you're standing in one pile of shit and then you step into another pile of shit, at least you're not in the same stinky pile of shit you're in. I think I said that to you one time, I
loved it.
Yeah, and that's the truth. I mean, if you don't like where you're standing, make a move. Even if you fail and it's not the right move, then you make another move. Like it's okay. People are afraid to fail. People are afraid to change their normal routines and stuff like that. And it's just, I think change is actually the spice of life. You
It
know,
has to be.
I don't want to change my wife. I absolutely love my beautiful wife, but still, change is good, man.
When you got to have a foundation, just like you said, this is what everything to me falls back on, is the yin and the yang of life, the order and the chaos, and you've got to just kind of walk that border and realize that, the chaos can pop up at any time when you think things are in order, and same thing, order can pop up out of chaos at any point in time.
It's the gray. I tell everyone that's I love that gray area, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's
the known and the unknown. You can't grow when you're in the known.
Yeah, it's the middle of the middle of the road, the center avenue kind of deal. That's what I'm naming my next band Center Avenue. We live on Center Avenue, but I'm naming it Center Avenue because I think it's a good point.
It's appropriate.
It's a good point to be in, is that in that middle area. You still have, if you go too far to one way or the other, usually you're fucked either way. You know what I mean? You got to, it's
tyranny. If you get too much order, you're in these marching orders, and you end up in Orwell's 1982 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, that's not what you want.
No,
not at all.
Not at all, man.
Thanks again to Sassy Pop Boutique for sponsoring this episode. If you are looking for the right fit and style for this upcoming season, feel free to reach out to their fashion professionals on their socials at Sassy Pop Boutique on Facebook and Sassy Pop Boutique Dixon on Instagram, or head on over to their website at sassypopboutique.com for 24-hour shopping and nationwide shipping. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to me directly via email at yourvibespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends.